Okay, so I'm going to try and continue this series of playing over standards. There are plenty of standards to pick from. Today I picked a Panethini, classic. I love this tune. It's just such a great tune to play over, and it's not quite a classic 40s, bebop standard that is in 40s. This is more like the ECM era, 70s, with a lot of slightly more suspended sounds, and we'll see today what I mean with that. Again, this is a series that I'm trying to keep up with. This is just only the second. I might try and do a live, maybe like a weekly live with this, see how it goes. But first I need to figure out to set things up. The tune actually is in D major, which is not the first chord, it's the last chord. So we're in D major, but we start from the 4. So we start from that 4, major 7, and then we end up on the flat 6. And this chart should suggest this really nice chord, but Jacopo actually plays, Jacopo Pastorius, which is in the recording, plays the B flat. So that's a B flat Lydian, which is a flat 6. It's a classic flat 6, major 7. The triangle is a short end for major 7, sharp 11, which, takes a Lydian, B flat Lydian, okay, which is F major basically. So then I will go back to the 1, which is D. And then there is this like 1 over flat 7, which obviously if you wanted to play a mode over it would be D mixolydian, G major. But to me, this is more of a writing trick to go back to the B flat. So to me, either when I'm playing, I either avoid that C note, I avoid that C sharp, or I try to play a line that targets that flat 7. So this would be like 1 over flat 7. And then I will have that flat 6 again. Sorry about my writing. I'm kind of trying to write and play and hold everything. So that's that. The second A, because this is an A-A-B-A kind of tune, the second A is exactly the same, but you said that there's a second ending here. If this is the first ending, if that's the first ending, this is the second ending. And here I have like a 4-1, a classic, that classic. It's a very, very, very common cadence. Okay. They put that B on the bass, which is the third of the G. So again, this is on the key of D. It's a very common thing. So far we have the key that is in the key of D major, and I have the flat 6. Whenever there's a B flat major 7 sharp 11, I have to play something from Lydian in that, with that root of B flat Lydian. And then I have that moment where the D has the C on the bass, where either I play something mixolydian. So let me try and play these modes over these chords. This is, for now, we're just kind of matching a scale with the chords, okay? And then obviously when we play, we have to try and connect the chords, not necessarily divide them, okay? But for now, just to get a bit of a sense, I'm going to play D major where when the chords belong to D major. And I'm going to play B flat Lydian, which is F major, over B flat major 7 sharp 11. When there is that D over C, I'm going to play D mixolydian. Okay, here we go. Okay, not perfect. I think I played one wrong note there, but that's the idea. Okay, so those are just my parameters. That's why by looking at the chart, a split second, I figured out that that was the key and the function of those chords, so I can figure out very quickly what to play over. This is quite common, unless you just play blues or play pop that has 4 chords. Everything is in the same key. When you play stuff that is a bit that has some modulations or some some modal interchange like that B flat, that's modal interchange from the minor. As far as my my knowledge reminds me, I could if I say something wrong, just put it in the comments and we'll talk about it. Or the way you see things is different to mine. I'm that's all very welcome. So let's go to the B section, the bridge. The bridge, I have that G over A, which obviously it's a 5 sus. And then this is what I usually call constant structure. There are a lot of tunes by Herbie Hancock that have this, and a lot of modern stuff that has this, because obviously people tend to, chords are sampled now, so they just moved chromatically. You go through, to tunes by moving things chromatically, not within a key, so to speak, not diatonically. So I think that's what Parmetheny, did that for. Obviously, then we'd have to ask him to know what he was doing when he wrote this. So that would be a 4 sus. Both of these take either a mixolydian, so A mixolydian, A sus, or you can spell out the chords, meaning like G and A, the triads. Oops. Or you can play stuff in fourths within A mixolydian. Which is in that style, isn't it? So then I have same thing for F over G, which is G sus, which is very common. Parmetheny does that a lot. But then again, you do your thing. You could just play something in your own vocabulary. Then I have A7, which again it's the 5. Again in the key of D, but this time it's played with a 3rd. And then I have the 1. Then I go back to the same, the same structure of the A, and I have a different ending. I just have a very simple 5-1, I think he plays this chord at the end, which is like a D major 7, but it has both the major 7 and the root. Okay. I think that's what he plays in the original. So that's pretty much it, really. So you see that there, if I tried to memorize this, which is the first thing I probably would do, I would try first to think this is an AABA, and it has 3 different endings. It's AAs, the A1, A2, and A3 as structure parts of the tune have 3 different endings. The first time it goes to the flat 6, the second time it goes to the 4, and the third time it goes to the 5. And then I have the bridge where I have those sus chords. And then I have 1, sorry, 5, 2, 1. So I only have 4 chords. And that's pretty much it, really. Like, when I'm trying to remember this, the next thing I would do, obviously, if I want to familiarize myself, if I have the time, let's say if I'm at a gig and start reading this, I don't have the time to do it. But let's say if I have the time at home to practice the tune, I would probably try to learn in different keys. Okay, so let's say I would move it into fourths. So instead of the key of D, I would play it in the key of G. Okay, so the tune would start from C, and then we go to the flat 6, which is E flat major 7, and then we have G, G over F, and then A flat major 7. For 1, and a 5 sus, 5, okay, so that's the tune in a different key, because obviously I've abstract the function of the chords from the tune in a particular key. So I can now, if I know my major scales, I can do that quite easily in any key. That's a very important skill if you want to play duo with singers. Singers, because of the range is limited, a male and a female singers will have different ranges. You do this all the time. You do this all the time, changing keys. So you have to become able to, to use all your senses to play a tune, basically. Sometimes I use my knowledge of the fret for visual, sometimes my ear, sometimes and my knowledge of keys and functional harmony. So that's pretty much it. Then obviously, when I've figured out the tune, I have to try, as I said, I have to try to use my vocabulary in a style to connect the chords. So in this case, it's like modern jazz, and my knowledge of certain modern jazz is limited. It's within a certain. I know how to play jazz, but my style is my style. So it will still come out as my version of Bright Side's Life. So because I know a certain amount of phrases. So again, what I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and play G major 7. I'm going back to the key of D now. So I've connected. So I've tried to connect these two chords by finding notes that either are in common or not in common. That's, it's up to you. So but these are all things that I hope that will help you figure out, even if you're an experienced musician, that might try it, you might hear my way of thinking, and it might give you some new ideas. So I'm going to try and continue to have this series on playing over standards. At least this is just my take on this stuff. All right, take care. Bye-bye.